Hello again and welcome back to Spotlight. I'm Donna Lampkin-Stevens. Here we talk about the people and events that make up the University of Central Arkansas's College of Fine Arts and Communication, and today we're all about ArtsFest, the community celebration of the arts that is preparing for its 7th festival beginning September 27th all over Conway. Our guests today will include Dr. Gail Seymour, Professor of Art and Associate Dean of the College of Fine Arts and Communication, Jim Wilchin, ArtsFest Co-Chair and Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students at Hendrix College, and Julie Isom, a local artist and an alumnus of the UCA Department of Art. So don't go away, we have a big show and Spotlight will be right back.
The University of Central Arkansas offers programs you can't find anywhere else in the state.
Thank you.
Like digital filmmaking, an education that's helped me enter film festivals, and intern at a local TV station. UCA's given me school pride I can call my own, in a community that feels more like a family.
Action.
UCA put me and my education front and center. Learn how at uca.edu.
I'm back now with Dr. Gail Seymour, Jim Wilchin, and Julie Isom, and welcome guys to Spotlight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Gail, I guess you're the authority on the beginnings of ArtsFest.
I
we,
suppose.
We go back. So tell us, sort of, remind the audience of where all this started.
It goes back to 2007. That was the year that UCA was celebrating its centennial, and we had done a community mural down in Simon Park. It also was the time that the Conway Alliance for the Arts was founded, and we thought we needed to do something to kind of launch our group and to dedicate that mural.
So did CAFTA precede ArtsFest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we decided that we would not only have a dedication, but we would roll a few events into it. And so we turned it into a day-long event, and that was the beginning of ArtsFest.
And as I recall, it was, we got rained out part way through?
Not on that first one.
Okay, okay.
Not on that first one.
But it was very small in comparison to what we're doing now.
Yeah, for some reason we decided to just keep adding to it and adding to it, and so that's when our rain issues become more apparent.
So what does CAFTA do besides ArtsFest?
Well, CAFTA is a nice way for the community to come together to support the arts all around throughout Conway. And we started last year having an annual award ceremony where we presented awards to outstanding teachers and advocates for the arts. And so that's one thing we're doing, but a lot of it is coordinating support for the arts in the community.
And one thing we've recently done is to sponsor and sort of move along a community mural that is down on Chestnut Street at the corner of Oak and Chestnut. So that's the kind of thing that CAFTA likes to have its fingers in.
Would you say, is it fair to say that ArtsFest though is sort of the feather in CAFTA's cap? Is it the main event of the year?
Yes.
I think so.
We'd love to see it grow. I mean, what we had hoped that CAFTA became is really a membership where people are driven to it and know that they can look to CAFTA for support of all the arts. And so if we can become almost a united way for the arts for Conway is what we'd love to be. But it's still a fledgling operation, and we're still growing into some of the things we'd like to be doing. It's hard. You need lots of persons involved and a lot of hours committed. We've made good progress over the last 7 years, but there's more to be done.
Yep.
Okay, so to put on this multi-day ArtsFest, there's a planning committee that is part of CAFTA. Am I right? Or,
that's right.
Okay, so tell us about the committee. Who's on it, and how long have you been meeting for this?
Sure.
Do you just meet all the time, or what?
Seems like it.
Now we do.
We have two. I have a co-chair. I'm the chair of this year, and Sean Goingochea, which is our other co-chair, and he is really delightful and has a lot of tech background. So he's able to do things with the website and do some other things. He's also very active with the locals movement, and so he's been a really great resource. But then we invite specialists like Julie, and we invite other folks to come in that we think can contribute to the variety of programs. And
but at
it's
the end
evolving.
of the day, anybody can be on our planning committee. I mean, anybody who has an eye for arts and for the community, they are welcome.
Or an
to
idea for
participate.
something that
Absolutely.
should be. Okay.
And we have a first time, the Photography Club of Conway is coming forward to do an exhibit this year, and they've only been together a short time, and they came to us saying, could we do something? We're like, sure. And so we rely on the involvement of groups to also support it. So they're involved, even though they're not at each weekly meeting. They are sponsoring an event that they will take forward and make sure all the things are done for that event. We just support them with the concept and some of the space arrangements is where
some
we
of the
start.
publicity
And publicity.
things like that.
Mhm.
And I think, Gail, what strikes me the most is that in year one, we had a very sort of limited idea of what arts were. And now we've really expanded into all kinds of things. And we'll talk about some of those here,
Right.
here in just a minute. So, Julie, I heard you say that your first ArtsFest experience was the first one.
Was the first mural.
Tell us how you got involved.
Well,
The Aurora Rising.
Right.
the Aurora Rising, yes.
Okay.
Well, I was just starting as an art student here at the University of Central Arkansas, and the person that was doing the mural,
Morton
Brown, sorry, he was my instructor for painting that year.
I remember.
So I helped out a little bit, but I really didn't get really involved in the planning committee until about 2009. I volunteered every year.
Sure.
But yeah.
And Jim, what about you? You weren't even living here.
No, I arrived
Originally.
2 years into the event, and I was actually placed on the CAFTA by my role at the college. And so,
okay.
so I was chair of special events. And so all of a sudden I was meeting with CAFTA and then learned about ArtsFest. I'm proof positive that you don't have to be an artist
I was going to ask.
to
do
be
you have
involved. I do not have an artistic background, although I have an interest in the arts, and I've always had a strong interest in the arts from the standpoint of, but I have been dabbling in some fun things.
He's turned into a puppeteer.
Oh, really?
I created the puppet theater last year. I created a 14-foot PVC pipe giraffe that we used in the kids' art parade 3 years ago. And this year we're creating a 12-foot by 12-foot kids' art castle made out of PVC pipe that you'll be able to actually immerse yourself into the event. That is my
That
thing.
is your medium,
So,
isn't it?
Yeah. So, and last year we produced our theme. Last year was about light. It is again this year actually, but we produced it was architecture and light. And so what we do, I produced a replica of the Willis Tower in Chicago. It was exactly a 1 to 100 scale model of it made out of PVC pipe that was lit up for the entirety of the evening events. So yeah, so it's proof that if you get the fever, you can get involved, and it's been really fun. And my passion has been the Kids Day. I've loved being part of the events in the park, and Julie and I are teaming up on that, and so that's something that for me is the big deal. I love to see the kids interacting and engaging with all the different exhibits, and it's all about hands-on
Exploring.
exploration. Absolutely, and that's the part that keeps me coming back, even the tired long hours, long meetings
Yeah.
and such. So
We're going to get into specifics in a minute, but just how does the overall lineup this year compare to previous ones?
I think it's right in line, or maybe a little busier than in past years.
Seems
Every
like
year,
it's grown every year.
Every year there's an addition or a complication. And this year we one of the things we've changed. We have an event here at UCA at Reynolds on Saturday of ArtsFest, which pushed back our traditional start time for Arts in the Park. Well, we thought it was such a good event for families to come to. They come here, have that event, and then move over to the park for the rest of the afternoon. And then we're adding actually night events on Saturday. We're doing focus on jazz music, and so people can come down and be involved. Hey, jazz musicians out there, you want to be involved?
Right.
We
Come
have
on.
we have your place to be involved. So.
Well, it seems like we've got music, art, theater, dance, let's see, creative writing and film.
Yes.
Is there anything else that I'm missing? Photography? Still photography? Anything I'm...
I think you've got all the
You
main
covered the main
categories.
ones.
And what does it mean? I mean, how important is it to continually expand our definition of art?
I'm not sure. I just wanted to say something about the traditions. I mean,
go
every
ahead.
year we have educators that come, and the students' art in
Right. American Management.
American Management Corporation has the students' art, so we are involved with the schools, and that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I just wanted to say that. Could you repeat? I don't know what the question was again.
Well,
Sorry.
it's about. I think. Well, the PVC pipe is a clear example of our acceptance of all kind of form of art. I think it's hard because you hear art and you might think of visual art. You might be impacted by
Right.
that, but really the arts. We're ArtsFest, not ArtFest, and so the idea is to involve people. And so on Saturday, I think it's best described by what's happening on Saturday, because you'll have vendors in a vendor area selling art and showing their product. You'll have people having different activities in the kids zone, and then we'll also have performances. We'll have those on stage and on the puppet theater. So at once you're immersed inside of this whole thing, and then there's exhibits all around you. What
It's
makes
public.
what makes it challenging is that, you know, some other festivals are one-day festivals. We're a week, and we're
Multi-venue.
mostly
Yeah,
multi-venue, inside, outside. You know, it's everywhere. And so from the standpoint, it is great because it immerses the entire city in
It
our
opens it
program.
up for everyone.
Well, and I think it's important to take art out of the mansions and museums.
Right.
And to put it within reach of everyone in our
Absolutely.
city. And, you know, we're so lucky in Conway that we've got these 3 colleges and these schools that all have these resources and that really come together for this 1 week to really have this gift to the city as far as I'm concerned. And I think that really is all about quality of life.
Well, and it's big.
sure.
If you hear our mayor talk about it, he talks about how in selling HP and coming to Conway and talking with Southwestern Energy, talking about the quality of life, arts was the indicator that drew them here.
That's
and we
how you
need
get
to
an A.
celebrate. That's how you get the A. You
Right,
get the A by
right,
having the
right.
arts. And so I think we need people to continue to be involved. And I think it's hard because there's a lot of planning that goes into it, but it's also easy on some levels because if you have an idea, we're a small enough community, you can come forward with that idea and we can help you embrace it and we can add you into the list and to promote it. And so that lends itself to being very egalitarian. So.
Now, we're going to talk about specifics, and there's no way, there's so much going on,
That's
there's no way our viewers can keep up with all this. So we want to drive them to a website
That's right.
for specific details. So where should everyone go? And then we're going to give them a snippet of what to expect.
That's
But where
right.
should everyone go?
They should go to artsinconway.org.
Okay.
And that will get them to the complete schedule and
There's also Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
yes, all of those things. And hopefully they'll join us for whatever seems to be interesting
But that's
to
the good
them.
starting point.
Yes.
Yes, and
Okay.
Facebook's
And
a
I'm
nice
sure
place.
that the Log Cabin and other papers will have some sort of a schedule. We've been working with the Arkansas Times. They're planning to print the full schedule
Oh,
I'm
good.
as
excited
well.
about
Good.
that too.
Good.
So, and that's coming out in their September issue, which is their arts issue.
Okay.
So that's another
Okay.
place.
Okay, so we start off on Friday, September 27th, with a yarn bombing. So, Julie, that is your baby, right? So you talk first and tell us about it, and then I understand that you don't brag enough on yourself, so we're going to have somebody to brag on you.
Well, I mean,
So what is yarn bombing?
well, the best way to explain it is if you know what graffiti art is. I think a lot of people know what graffiti art or spray paint art, but this is with soft pieces of knitted yarn or crocheted yarn. It gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling. You put it on some hard surfaces or some surfaces that you're, like we're going to put it on the caboose. You normally see this caboose there, and it's a beautiful caboose, but now it's going to be soft and
Completely covered.
completely covered.
Will be transformed with
Wow.
patterns, colors, textures.
Yes, exactly. And then people will be able to come in on the 27th. We'll have some yarn pieces available. So, and I'll have materials for them to use to help with the yarn bombing. And we're going to do lampposts
benches.
Trees.
All downtown. Okay.
In Simon
in
Park.
Simon
In
Park.
Simon Park,
It's just
okay.
in Simon Park, yes.
And what I want to say about Julie is that Julie did a BFA here at UCA, and her internship was with the world's most famous yarn bomber, Magda Sayegh, who is in
Austin, Texas right now. Mhm.
who famously yarn bombed a bus in Brazil, I think it was.
It was in Mexico, a
in
bus.
Mexico.
Mhm.
And
she's been all over the
yeah,
world.
she's really the it person. So we have in our own community, we have someone who really has the expertise to pull off a project like this. It's one thing to say we're going to cover the caboose with yarn, but it's another thing to actually do it and to think about the logistics involved in that. I mean, it's really about community, that really the essence of what a community is, coming together, really working through an idea. And
Yes, because I'm not doing it alone.
Right.
For sure. I
Is
have-
this your largest project, though?
with this yarn? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
She's already bombed a motorcycle.
We did the motorcycle one year,
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah, she bombed a motorcycle,
Okay.
and that was a workout. So
Yes, and I had a lot of help with it too. I mean, so
Okay, and also on Friday, September 27th, we have the Conway Symphony Orchestra.
That's
Their sort of kickoff concert
Right.
outdoors in Simon Park.
that's right.
And the Lantern Theater production of Amateurs.
That's
So
right.
all this is going on downtown simultaneously.
Downtown simultaneously. So, you know, people need to decide what it is they want to see.
It's going to be difficult to decide.
That's right.
Now, on Tuesday, October 1st, we have the Arkansas Saxophone Quartet with a multimedia concert. What's that?
Well, they're going to play saxophones, but they're also going to play pieces of music that were inspired by art. So in addition to the music, you will see projected images of paintings and whatnot. One of the pieces is specifically inspired by a 20th century artist named Mark Tobey. So that should be a really interesting concert.
So did Jackie Lamar and her group sort of, I mean, they've created this, they found the artworks that they were
right.
inspired by?
That's right.
So where is this going to be?
This will be at the Lantern Theater.
Okay.
And so again, we're so excited. This is the first year we've really worked with the Lantern. And you know, it's just a fabulous venue for so many things that we want to do. And so that will be where this concert will take place.
And that's on Van Ronkel.
That's
Street.
correct.
Okay.
And it's a free concert, no
Okay.
tickets, just show up and
Okay.
enjoy
It's
it.
free.
So much of what we do is free, and I think that's a point that has to be made because we do have some events that we have to charge for.
Sure.
It's too costly, but by and large, almost all events are free, and people are welcome to come. And they're actually don't require reservations, so you can come on the spot if you have the time. So we'd love for you to come early and make sure we're filled up. So.
Yeah.
Now, and I understand that Central Baptist College for the first time is
Yeah.
involved. Tell us about what they're going to
That's
do.
really exciting. We're just absolutely thrilled. And so they're going to be hosting an author on Tuesday night, Lee McElroy.
October 1st.
That's right. So there will be an author reading and a book signing. So
At CBC.
at CBC.
Okay.
So that's a really big deal
great.
for us, and we're really thrilled about it.
So we have 100%
That's right.
participation now.
That's right.
That's wonderful. Okay, on Wednesday, October 2nd, we have an evening of literature and music downtown, which is going to be quite an evening on the rooftop of the former Michelangelo's.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
tell
right.
us about that.
Well, if I know enough, here's what I think is going to happen. This is going to be the Oxford American, the Toadsuck Review, and what is the Hendricks?
The Onion.
Yeah. All of those literary magazines are going to come together, and so it will be a kind of combination of words and music. There's also going to
So there will be readings from
readings,
the staffs. Okay.
and then there will be a pop rock punk band,
Frass.
that will
Okay.
also be playing that evening. And so it should be really fun. So I'm sure hopeful that the weather's going to be splendid and the rooftop of Michelangelo's will be
Beautiful
an
place.
exciting place to be.
It's really fun. It's going to be a fun event. People should really plan to come.
And that's in the evening of October the 2nd.
Yep.
Right.
And then we really move into the meat of the week, I guess, on Thursday, Friday,
Right.
Saturday, right? So Thursday, October 3rd, we start with the Cassatt String Quartet.
Right.
Tell us about that
that's
whole
one of-
event.
That's one of my projects that I've been working on for almost a year now. The Cassatt String Quartet is a world-class string quartet based in New York City. They're going to be coming and performing a fantastic concert in Reynolds Performance Hall. I mean, this is the kind of music that we don't get to hear all the time. You know, this is the real thing. But what's going to make this concert even more special is that they're going to be premiering, it'll be the world premiere of a piece of music that UCA has commissioned, the College of Fine Arts and Communication. The piece of music is called Mary Cassatt, Scenes from Her Life, and it's composed by Bruce Adolph, who is also known on NPR as the Piano Puzzler. So this is really
And he will be here in the spring.
and he's also going to be present for the concert.
great,
Yeah.
great.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the composer hates to miss the premiere. You know, it only happens once.
That's exciting.
And so he'll be here as well. In fact, I think he's going to introduce the music from the stage.
Tremendous.
And so I just hope people out there will really come and really appreciate that these kinds of moments where original music is created and where a world-class ensemble is playing it doesn't happen very often.
No,
and
no.
it tends to happen in places like New York or London, but it's happening right here in Conway, Arkansas.
That's what's so exciting about.
What's the background on the name of the quartet? I mean, are they based on?
No, what's an interesting question. They're four women, and Mary Cassatt, of course, was a famous American 19th century woman artist. And they chose the name Cassatt because they admired the way that the artist lived an independent life, a creative life, and so she, in a way, is sort of their
Muse.
inspiration, sort of their muse.
Okay. That's great, that's great. And then also on Thursday, we have Jen Lewin.
That's right.
Okay, so these are a couple of big events that really need some explanation, I think, because you can see the photographs, but you're not really sure what they are. So
Well, let me handle this one, and then I'll let them speak
Okay.
about the other ones in just a minute, because this is another one of my projects. Jen Lewin is actually here through the Baum Gallery at UCA.
artist in residence.
That's right. She's an artist in residence. She is a light and sound sculptor from Colorado. She is going to be bringing two pieces to Conway. One is called The Pool. The other one is called Chandelier Harps. The Pool, if you can imagine, alumni circle is going to have about 120,
UCA.
about 120 discs, about the size of this table, about 3 feet in diameter. They're going to be all connected electronically somehow, so that when you touch them, they're going to make different kinds of colors.
Okay.
And depending on how you touch them, how many people touch them simultaneously, it creates different kinds of patterns.
This is the epitome of interactive art.
Exactly. So it's only art when people interact
Right,
with it.
right.
And technology.
And
technology,
That's
yes.
right.
Excuse me.
The other piece, the Chandelier Harps, is going to be a series of lasers, vertical lasers, in a sort of circle, so that when you run your hand and break the beam, it will make a sound. And depending on the height of your hand and how quickly you do this, and how many
And how
people
many
are doing
people.
it simultaneously.
And so we want crowds.
We
coming
expect to
in.
have crowds.
Okay.
And I think one of the things that's fascinating about Lewin's pieces is that she finds that people who don't know each other, who come together at this moment, kind of create games that everyone cooperates with. And so it's going to be really exciting
it
to see
becomes part of the
how
art.
people are going to experience these pieces.
And so these two pieces will be up Thursday?
3 nights.
3 nights.
Right.
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay. Great. And then we also are going to have a dance element on the Thursday night, right?
We're working on that.
Okay.
We hope to have the core performance company with guests perform, interact with these sculptures. So it should
Oh,
be a
great.
really fantastic
Great.
moment.
Okay, and then on Friday, October 4th, we move to the Light Up the Night downtown for the college crowd.
Absolutely.
Tell me about that.
We have several bands performing, and I'll tease the audience by saying go to artsinconway.org to see the names of the bands.
There's really too
But
much to keep up with.
I know.
There's a taste for all.
Even
and
for-
it
for you, yeah.
Starts at 6 o'clock in the park, and there'll be 4 different bands playing, half hour to 40-minute sets. But it's free of charge. Come on down. There'll be other exhibits. We'll have a photo booth there that'll doing giveaway photos. Plus, we'll have a light bomber, which we're using LED technology that you'll go into a dark space and you actually create your own art. It's an immersive, again. And then we're bringing back our graphite artists, which we do poses with the model and give just regular folks a chance to try to draw their best, as best they can, capture the image in drawing without much training or any training.
Right.
But the fun is it's a communal thing. So we'll do a 3-minute sitting. We'll have 12 people sitting around with pads. They'll sit around and they'll go say, all right, go, and try to capture as best they can. And it is tremendous, because what emerges from it is just this collective view of what's happening from an individual perspective, from 12 individual perspectives about a same thing. That's about our community. I think anytime you can bring a community and immerse them in the art, that is successful.
And then we have the Conway Film Festival, which will go Friday and Saturday,
That's
October
right.
4th and 5th.
They'll
Tell
be
us
at
where
the
that-
Lantern as
At
well.
the Lantern, okay. And that's sponsored by the UCA Film Club?
That's right. I think this is the 5th year they've done that. And so there's be all kinds of films
Short
that will
films.
have been juried by a committee. And so I still don't know what's going to make the cut, but I'm anxious to see what the lineup
And all
will
this
be.
is free.
That's right.
Film Festival is free, just show up. And then on Saturday, October 5th, the event that you were talking about, Jim, is the Lightwire Theater's performance of The Ugly Duckling and The Tortoise and the Hare at Reynolds Performance Hall, a children's show, which is going to be unlike anything we've ever seen around here.
This is the organization that's seen on America's Got Talent. And so this is going to be sponsored by Reynolds Performance Hall. And this is one of the few events where there is a charge. There's a $5 charge for children, and I think it's $10 for adults. But it should be fantastic, and I hope everybody will come out and see it before they come to the park.
Absolutely, and they can come right from there, right down to the park.
And then tell us what's going on at the park.
Everything. Performances
But
on stage.
not until this is over with. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not going to start until
We'll
11
start at
o'clock.
11, and we have the ability to push back a little bit if we have a longer performance, but we will make, it'll be, the stage will be teaming with different kinds of performances. We have Blackbird Academy, which will be performing a lot of different disciplines of dance and music, and even some spoken word, I believe, and then follow it with some from Preston Palmer and some students from there We have a drummer from Zimbabwe who's going to be doing a performance with a duet. It's going to be fun. It's a drum that you don't see around Conway. Another exposure. We also have the Cloggers who are going to be here, and they'll be doing a performance. And they're really fun. They're such energy comes from that stage. The Hendrix Dance Ensemble will be doing a performance. So that'll all be going on in like half an hour increments. And in between there, we'll have the debut of our puppet theater performance, which Faulkner County Library has teamed up with us to do the week before ArtsFest. There'll be workshops for kids who are, I think it's 8 to 13 is the age group that's invited. They sign up, they come in, they help create the show, and then they will perform it at ArtsFest. And so all free. They need to see the Faulkner County Library to be involved, but that will be performing. And then at the same time, Julie will have, Julie is doing great work coordinating all the different art immersion experiences. Why don't you talk about those?
Yes, we'll have every year so far we've had a clay booth where the children can just walk in, and there'll be 6 or 7 or 8 areas that the children will be able to choose from and explore different. One theme is paper books, another one is watercolors, and then Robbie Burton, I don't know how many years he's been coming, but they love getting their characters drawn, and what else? Several other, there's about 8 or 9 booths open for the children.
And all day, at the same time, we've got this ArtsFest Marketplace.
Right.
Which is,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
The marketplace, it just goes on. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And so what we started last year is we reached out to some vendors to talk to them about coming in and being able to do a juried show and also be able to sell some of the things they're creating. And it was a big success last year. In fact, they were very interested immediately saying, are you doing this again next year? So we will be bigger this year with more vendors. There's an opportunity to sign up for that. You go to the artsinconway.org if you have an interest in being a vendor and sign up for a booth. There's a cost for that, but again, everyone that enters can enter a piece that can also pay off in a prize money. So it's actually a great thing. And we're working still on the details of a chili cook-off between local organizations. Helps raise funds for us.
Sure.
But it's you buy a bowl, and you're able to walk around, sample different kinds of chili, and then we're also going to have some other vendor carts there that'll be there for if people want to buy their own foods there. But make it really a festival, in that you can kind of just wander around and have a lot of different experiences in a very short period of time. And so
Yes, it's like it's a festival. We're going to have, and Patty Cakes is coming, and she's going to bring her cupcakes.
Oh, good.
So there'll be food. I mean,
And then we'll close out with the Jazz Fest at
Yes.
Simon Park.
Yep.
So, and then that will be the, okay. So
We'll be worn out.
wow, I'm worn out just listening to it. Okay, so one more time, we could use volunteers still.
That's right.
absolutely.
And they
Please
should go
go
to
to
the
the
website.
And don't feel like you need to have any expertise. Sometimes we need help just guiding people to places, or even
Sometimes
with
we-
setup
yeah.
and tear down,
Okay.
and be a part of the arts. You know, too many people stand around and say, I really like that, but what can I contribute? Well, you contribute by coming down and helping us
Set up
put
the
it
tables.
together. It's a huge part that you realize that a small group of committee members can't always fulfill without the help of volunteers.
we've always
All
had
right,
a lot of
well, it
volunteers.
should be great fun. So we encourage everybody to come out, and thank you so much for coming on Spotlight.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We'll be back in a minute.
At the University of Central Arkansas, I've encountered world-changing academics and game-changing athletics, helping me become a regular on the Southland Conference Honor Roll. I was able to graduate early with a business degree, and now I'm seeking a second degree in physical education, all while playing Division I volleyball, softball, and soccer. UCA put me and my education front and center. Learn how at uca.edu.
For more information about the programs and people featured on the show, call the UCA College of Fine Arts and Communication at 501-450-3293 or check out our website www.uca.edu/CFAC, and be sure to like us on Facebook. Join us again next time when we'll be talking to Joe Dull, Associate Professor of Digital Filmmaking, about our second feature-length narrative film, Sympathy Pains. So be sure to join us then.